So then, we are back with the modern understandings from the time of the Second Tabernacle services where we find in the Aramaic English translation of the word. This translation comes from the original manuscripts of the prophets of the Israelic lineage, so then we can understand the time of the end as per Mashiyach the prophet. Then we find a layer of understanding in the 61st chapter related with the time of the restoration of the holy cities laid waste for many centuries, and also related with the first recording of Mashiyach the Levite, where then the time is reduced, and then understanding the politics of the world at the moment, we find in Israel again at war with Gaza. As it was then last year pointed, the U.S. then got involved in the midst of the situation and purchased the war where they shouldn't have. There it is. U.S. make the wrong movements once again. So then U.S. gave money to Israel, they purchased the war, they got more money for war and destruction, and there is the war again. Israel has then again airstriked, then Gaza again. So then our government has proven itself absolutely incompetent. As far as we can understand, the instructions are given so then people can make the proper decisions. But then the Greek and the Roman translation, because of so many centuries of deceit, people then they listen the truth, but they don't do the truth. That's then the word hypocrisy, or then the word related with the Greco understanding, because an hypocrite is a mask used then in the Greco theaters, explaining then their lying faces. The Mashiyach did not say hypocrites, he said you devils, because he was speaking then directly with demons in people, because they wanted the manipulation, they wanted to go beyond the holy instructions, and there we find our country destroying itself, and we can't use our weapons of war. Not until when the time comes. So then we find then this country once again making wrong decisions. We find ourselves then given more money for the objective of then detouring the war, and the war came back. And the war with Gaza should remain for quite some time, so then Israel can understand the returning of the cities of the Mashiyach laid waste for many centuries. The Mashiyach then, he is spoken in the chapter 1:8 related with the time of the restoration, where then Gala means a person revealed. The Greco and the Romans, when they were translating the holy instructions, they did not understand how to place them together. So there are not only 22 chapters of Revelation. The layer of the autumn feast are layers related with shofars and cups. The rest of it doesn't belong there. You have post-autumn feast and prior of autumn feast. But then people hear and they don't get interested in it. They want the world. They want to remain with the world. They don't want to understand tabernacling. They want to enjoy this age because they think there is a Mashiyach coming for them, even though the Mashiyach only completed half of the instructions, but they think the instructions were abolished. But they enjoy becoming with the world. So when the people, they listen to the instructions, they don't take action. They are enjoying staying with the world. Then later when the Mashiyach explains, then people would be given the relationships and so on and so forth, came the Vesuvius and destroy them. Then at the end, the same category of obviously stupid people, they hear the truth, but they prefer staying with the world. Thus then the Mashiyach completes the autumn feast as per the instructions, and then the people are caught in the fire. This is what the Mashiyach explained. No, those are not my words. But then the Greek and the Romans always trying to weasel the word through, always making fun of it, but not having an answer to defend their position. Thus they are, trash with the world. So then, as far as what the Mashiyach has said regarding then, and the freighters of the earth, on 8th chapter, he states then, the third part of the ships. He's explaining of freighting. By this time, then the authority of trade is given back then the Ishmaelites. Chapter 1:8, he makes a reference also then of the freighters of the earth. Both chapters. Chapter 1:8 refers of the time of the restoration period. But then people, they like to, always, get in somebody's back and then enjoying the ride while enjoying the world. As if the world then was, though contaminated, then the Mashiyach then came to save the world. The Mashiyach came to save the people of the world. The world is condemned. The Mashiyach said, likewise, those who were destroyed with the time of Noah as a sample, and the other sample during the time of the Lot. When some people are so stupid, they don't understand. And then the wife of Lot became a column of salt. What is a column of salt? And some people are so blindly stupid. They say, because the Bible said a column of salt. Because his wife, she turned back as if it was some mysticism. She observed then the city burning, and she was then turned into a column of salt. Where did this column of salt comes from? The Roman legions used to get paid with the salt rations. The Israelic lineage, it states, she turned back to the city prior of its destruction. She couldn't believe that Lot was then directed in a dream to get out of there. She went back to the city. And she was burned with the rest of them. Then if you study a bit, during the time of the releasing of the atomic bomb on Japan, after the blast, they came to investigate the site. They found piles of salt. You know what are those? Those are mineral salts of the bodies burned. A memorial of salt. Now the Greek and the Romans in the church, ignorant, you're a column of salt. What column of salt? Are you a mystical, stupid? You don't understand what it means? But then the enjoyment with the rest of the world, going to the inferno, they don't understand the instructions, they don't understand tabernacling. Then they wanted the same junkies of the past 1,000 years. Our country is in an absolutely deadly path. And people are trying to enjoy with the world. Whereas the Pacific is already armed with their own system. And there it is. Last year, the war with Gaza, we should have let them fight the war. Then the United States went over there, spend more money, and there it is. Israel and Gaza again at war. There is a situation where a person then is ignorant and not instructed. Then when a person hears and does the same thing, then becomes stupidity. So the Mashiyach said then the freighters of the earth. What is then going on? The Chinese system at some point is going to become available for the rest of the world. Thus the restoration of the first stick to the Ishmaelites because of the most crude. What is it going to become of our country? What the Mashiyach is pointing is, since he is in the future, what he's saying is lined up the government with freighters and start charging taxes per labeling or via freighting. At some point the middleman is gone. Government should be in line with the freighters. But then we find our government being deceived, building the Ozarks over there where they won't use it.